Hey, welcome back guys, this is Zone again. I wanted to go ahead and tell you real quickly about what I'm doing. Have in front of me a broken Titan. This was a project from a friend of mine. He got back from overseas and he wanted me to go ahead and try and salvage what he has here. Now not everything's broken, like this is broken. This can still go on here fairly well. You know, this isn't broken. It can go on there fairly well. Oops, let me get this up on the camera a little bit. As you can see, I'll put this back on. So it's not completely broken on the top, but once you get past that and you look at the feet, it looks like he stepped his toe real bad and broke his leg clean off. You can see here, I can get this in focus a little bit. Come on, work for me. Right there. You can see here his leg is actually broke straight here. And over here there's 3 toes. There's one of them right here. Here's the other 2. So he's missing 3 of his toes and his hock. Several other bits broke off. These came off, sort of popped off. These are the shin guards. But they're still salvageable. I mean, you can glue these back on with no problem. It'll be fine. The main thing is, he's given me another one, which I'll show in a second when I get a chance to set it up. And he wants me to repair them. He doesn't want me to paint them, which is unfortunate because I'd prefer to paint them. But that's not an option. These have been repaired more than once in the past too. I'm going to try and get this up into zoom. See that hole right there? There's actually a hole where a pin was. And then up underneath here, you can see right there, there's the actual pin. So he's done some pin work because things are broke off like this gun. They just haven't taken. So I'm going to have to probably pull those pins and put a different type of pin in there. I don't think a straight steel pin will do it. I think it's too slippery. I'm also going to be using some heavier duty glue, stuff that once it sets, the resin will break and you won't be able to clean it off before the glue will break. I think that's about the only option. Guys, this is a Zone. Little brief intermission video, I guess you could say. Something else I noticed as I was about ready to put this back. This particular leg, even though it doesn't look like it's broke, it actually is. It's in 2 separate pieces here. Right here is a very fine line. I'll rotate that so you can see that a little better. Where it's actually broke all the way across. And inside here, you can see it's actually pinned. And that's going to have to come apart and be redone. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this a little bit and see if I can work it out. Let me set this camera down. Best if I don't work on this with one hand, if you know what I'm saying. So here, adjust this so I can see this better. Yeah, it's coming apart. There it goes. So this thing here was actually held together with 2 pins. So both legs are actually broken in half. Again, what a shame. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to reseat this, redo these pins. Again, I don't think these steel pins are going to work the way they are. The problem you have with pins on a vehicle this size is it rocks, it tips. So as it's sitting there and it's being moved and jostled and bounced around or sitting inside a car and moving around, it's just working those pins loose. And eventually you get what you have now. multiple pin jobs and they don't hold. The toes will be easy fix. That won't be too hard. The other leg's going to be very difficult because of where it broke. Breaking right here is going to make that very difficult. That's not enough surface area. I'm probably going to have to go through here in the middle and then back into here in the middle and down, not out, down, to have a chance at getting that to stay in place. Getting that foot off is going to be the biggest problem. I hope I don't break any toes trying to get it off, because it's pretty well on there. I don't know if I showed you this. You can see here, it's very well glued in there. I'm sure the other feet are just like that. Alright, once again, talk to you guys a bit. Welcome back, guys. This is Zone again, doing, I guess, part B of my Titan project. It's the second Titan. This Titan right here was made, I'm going to try and zoom this in 1988. It's one of the armor cast Titans, one of the first ones. I didn't paint this one also. This one here came to me in complete shambles. In this case, looking at the feet, you'll see what I'm talking about, minus the big hole in it. It had been broken off, several attempts to re-glue it and glue it again, and all sorts of things have failed, including pinning. This one here you can see was actually broken in the middle of the leg. I actually ended up cutting that flat though. I needed a flat surface to work with. So what I've decided to do is to sort of work this in together like tension bars. If you've ever seen cables that are stretched, when a cable is stretched, like a metal steel cable is stretched, it's not, well, before it's stretched, it's rigid because it's steel, but it's not strong at all. I mean, it could hold weight, but it doesn't hold, it couldn't go up and down. So I decided to do, but once you tighten it, then once it's tightened, then it's strong, and it can hold weight, and it can do all sorts of things. Even take a little bit of impact if it's got some spring to it. So I decided to do the same type of thing. Here, I got these really long screws with metal threads, with washers and all sorts of stuff. I took one and I cut it in half so I could access a different one. And I'll talk more about that later, but basically I'm going to run them straight from the bottom, right through here, and into here. And then they will have tension. Now the reason why I went with 4-inch screws instead of like 2 inches, because that's all it would require to do that, is I'm actually going to be going through the terrain itself so that I don't have to glue these feet onto the terrain. The terrain will be part of the tension. So what will be holding this to the ground won't be the feet balancing per se. Will be this screw going through the foot, through the calf, which if you look right here, there's a hole that you put the washer through. And then the actual point of tension will be the bottom of the terrain where this big washer sits. And so it will be taking the jarring action. The foot is just one of the links in the chain. So it should take a lot of pressure off this. This resin is softer than most resin. It's not the same hard resin you see nowadays. It also is older and I think a little more brittle, which is a concern. Now, some of the things I'm going to do real quick, I just want to show you. You can find one of these. These are awesome. I got this at Ace Hardware. You can probably find one at your General Hardware. It even says General on it. I don't think that's a brand. Maybe that's a brand. It cost me $12.50. It can take anything up to about 1/4 inch. So it's pretty good. And then the other thing I'm using is this right here, which I also got at Ace. Here's a little package it comes in. If you notice on there it says 1900 PSI. It's a 2-part epoxy, and it's gray. This should work very well. I went with gray, not clear, because this is already painted. It's not going to be repainted by me, so the color it dries is important. Gray might look like a version of the steel. You're only going to see parts of it in the joints if you see it, and if it looks like something that's already on it, it might make it hide. Anyways, this is this. I'm going to come back with a video with this thing put together. Sorry that I've already got the holes drilled and everything. You can see here this arm is completely broke off, and that's where this one without the screw goes here. I'm actually going to be putting a screw from inside here to all the way over to inside here. Anyways, you'll see what this all looks like when I get it done. Future videos. Anyways, have a great day. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do. If you like it, and please like it. Have a great day.